Today we're tackling one of the most profound questions there is. In a place where literally everything is taken from you, your name, your home, your freedom, what's left, if anything? We're going to dive into this incredible story about finding freedom in the absolute worst conditions imaginable. Okay, so let's set the scene. The reality was just brutal. In the concentration camps, the control over the prisoners was total. We're talking every movement, every crumb of food, every single breath. It was all subject to their captor's will. And yet, here's the thing. That absolute, total control, it had a limit. There was a line it couldn't cross. And it forces us to ask this huge question. You can chain the body for sure, but can you really, truly conquer the human spirit? To really get this, we've got to start with this setting and the incredible internal struggle that was going on. So Section 1, dignity in chains. The physical suffering is almost impossible for us to wrap our heads around. People were pushed way past the edge of endurance. They were basically reduced to their most primal instincts, with starvation and exhaustion as their constant companions. But right there, in that state of complete and utter misery, something incredible started to happen. Some people, they made a choice. They flat out refused to let their horrific circumstances define who they were on the inside. They held on to their values, their sense of self, with a grip that no chain could ever break. So, what did this inner strength actually look like? Well, it started with these small, quiet, but incredibly powerful acts, which brings us to our second section, Whispers of Defiance. Just try to picture this for a second. There's a man, he's starving, he's in pain, and he chooses to use his very last bit of energy not on himself, but to offer a kind word to someone else. That small act, it completely defies the cruel logic of the world he's trapped in. And then you've got another story. In the pitch-black darkness of the barracks, another prisoner is keeping art alive. He's whispering poetry, sharing these tiny fragments of beauty in a place designed to crush the human soul. This wasn't just about remembering words, it was an act of preserving humanity itself. And then there were those who went even further. A prisoner with absolutely nothing risks his own life, the only thing he has left, to help someone who is even weaker. That is the ultimate choice, isn't it? Choosing to sacrifice yourself instead of just trying to survive. So you have all these different actions. What do they really tell us? Well, they all point to this massive revelation at the heart of this story. Let's get into it in Section 3, the unconquerable choice. See, these weren't just random acts of kindness. Not at all. As the source material puts it, these moments prove something truly monumental about what it means to be free. And here it is. This is the line in the sand. Their captors could control their bodies, where they went, what they ate, how much they suffered. But they could not control their choice. They couldn't force their attitude. They couldn't take away their ability to find meaning in it all. That power, that belonged to them and them alone. Once you grasp that, it just reframes everything. Those small acts weren't just about surviving. They were a form of protest. Which leads us perfectly into Section 4, Rebellion of the Spirit. So this is the key takeaway right here. Finding meaning in that hell, whether it was through compassion or art or sacrifice, it became an act of rebellion. It was this private personal victory, an assertion of inner freedom that the guards, the fences, the brutality, none of it could ever touch. This inner freedom, this rebellion of the spirit, was the ultimate power they discovered they had. It was, as we'll see in our final section, the final weapon. Because when every other weapon has been taken away, what do you have left? You have this. The freedom to choose your own way, to decide how you're going to respond. That spiritual freedom becomes the final, unbreakable weapon against oppression. It is the one thing, the only thing, that can never be taken away from you. And that really leaves us with a question to think about. In our own lives, with our own struggles and challenges, when things feel like they're totally out of our control, what is that one space where we always have a choice? What is your final freedom?